And who needs Alan Moore when we have Comic Mark?
Огонь на подавление! Враг сзади по левому флангу! Огонь! Прочь! Они...
Assalamu alaikum, bitches. It's me, Comic Mark. Hello. So this week, TikTok tanks. I can't even talk. Let's rewind. This week, TikTok sensation and alleged human trafficker and CIA agent Andrew Tate has a comic book coming out. Top G, the G stands for Glowie or whatever. So he claims that the Matrix is out to get him. So I've assembled my own team of ones and zeros. First of all, a man who took both the red pill and the blue pill only to discover that they were both Rohypnols. It's Ryan Roger Athe. Hello, comrade. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Commie. It's great to be here. My name is Ryan Roger Athe. I am the host and founder of Reality Based. And the good part of me is actually me. And the evil part of me... What's going on?
You cut out then, but it seemed to work for comedy effect. All right, so welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Round of applause.
I phased out of it. I think my I think my internet is going a bit crazy, so I may have to hide myself for a moment.
All right, cool. So Ryan is, of course, Welsh, and as evidence that when the architect was coding the handsome genes in Wales, he didn't distribute them fairly. It's our woman in the red dress. It's Aria Black.
Hello. Hello, good sir. How's it going, guys?
Very
good.
Well. You're the distraction test.
Problems.
I'll any awkward silences, just put me big screen. I'll do some poses. Blue steel or whatever it's called.
Wales is Dan Vask, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that hair. Look at it.
Indeed, indeed. I could say the same to you. We Welshies definitely built with good hair. We'll say that much.
Speaking of hairs, this week I got my copy of Tailless in the mail, Aria's furry book about a rabbit. It's a cat even, but I always think...
Definitely not a rabbit.
It's a rabbit. But yeah, so that's out right now. It's done. How does that feel to have completed your book, what you made?
It's out. It's very fun. You know what? I even got a handshake today because of it, because I went to deliver one to someone who bought it locally. So I delivered it in person. He gave me a handshake for it, and it made my day, made me feel all warm and cozy inside. So, and there was only
how long was it delayed?
Yeah, it was delayed, but it's out now.
They're always delayed, aren't they, folks?
Yeah, especially a first-time one as well. There's a lot of lessons to learn.
Oh, indeed.
That's the way that it goes. Also, while we're talking about books, my book Krishna Kid is still available, also on track to be late. but not my first book. I've got no excuse. But whatever, I'm not actually going to talk about my book. I just want to tell people that Mary Boy's Beefheads has got like a second chance campaign, like and for people who didn't get a chance to back it on Indiegogo, you should go and back it. It's like really great. I've never heard anyone say a bad word about it. Often people praise it as the best book in CG. Like I've heard that on more than one occasion from more than one person, and people who aren't biased, people who are outside of like a CG UK like community in it, like you know what I mean. So really good book. Go and have a look at that. Like it's quite cheap, $23. It's under £20, like in the UK.
Look at all those tabs, folks. Look at all those
yeah,
tabs in Kami's browser. What is he looking up that's AR? It's probably all of Arya's stuff. Oh, Kami, you're obsessed with Arya Black.
So.
Oh, I didn't know you were of that persuasion, Kami. Don't you have a wife and kids? Oh, my.
There are 8 M's rather than 8 R's, you know, for Andrew Tate. All right, so a round of applause for these Welsh Tom Jones motherfuckers. All right, also racking up his second appearance on the show this week. It's the secret, unknown, locked away in the attic older brother of Ron Weasley. It's Kenzo UK. Hello, comrade. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, gentlemen, and it's a pleasure to join you for my second appearance.
How old are you, Kenzo?
Kenzo?
You look very old.
Very old.
Like 55.
Yeah. Pushing it, man. I'm like 42, dude.
You look 55.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, you look young too. You look like the hairy biker post-death. But yeah, I'm here fresh off the Legion stream, and can't wait to get into talking about the top G, who is actually from my hometown as well. But
yeah, we'll get into it. Before I bring on the noob of the week, you know, I like to have one person on every week who's new to the show, whatever. Before I do that, we'll just quickly check in with the chat. It's popping a little bit off already. Wahung Dung is here. Says Mark passed out from the fright when he realized the hammer and sickle meant hard work. Bro, I'm a true proletarian. Like I've done all them jobs, the hammers and the sickles. Wahung Dung says also, let me guess, Mike S. Miller is drawing this. This is the kind of thing that he would definitely jump onto. Rat King's here as well. Hello. Nalthina watching us from Twitch, where we're also live. We are live on Twitch. Like, please watch your slurs or whatever. If you're not even allowed to show swastikas on there, I'll show you later on in the video where I almost did one, like, but I didn't. Aiden's here as well in the chat. Hello. Your retarded time is normal, Kami. You should grow to expect that. It was Mussolini who said he would make the trains run on time, not Stalin. JD Curb is here as well. Hello. Tree Goblin is here. He says the art in Tate's book is worse than Narwhal. It's outrageous, but we'll have a look. Aiden says the art is fantastic, so opinion is split. And Timothy Olsen says the guy in the middle looks like the half brother of Jonathan Davis.
in the middle.
I can't even remember who was in the middle. Phil's here as well. Hello. He says, "What's up, you limey blokes?" It's a bit too Australian, that isn't it? Andrew Tate has a comic. Oh, I want to read it just to see how bad it is. Well, we're gonna have a little look into it now. So let's bring on the noob of the week. Let me re-find my intro. The noob of the week. Oh yeah, so it's the this guy hosts the Dungeons and Dragons type show that I do with Aiden on Tuesdays on Aiden's Broken Crown channel. So like go and check that out. It's a man who likes a deep one. It's Deep One Bill. Hello, Bill.
Bonjour, folks.
Hello,
How
Bill.
can I help?
Hey, Backdoor Bill.
That's my other show, I'm afraid. that would be the Broken Crouch podcast.
Aiden's here again. Still, that's the word. She says, "I was referring to the book you were suggesting, not Andrew Tate's book. That was, of course, Mary Boys. So, it is good. Like,
so why do people not like Andrew Tate again? I heard he's a sex trafficker. So what's bad about him?
That's one of the things. Oh, Irene's here as well. Hello, well done.
And Zombie. Zombie is here too. That's who I was waving to.
We have all the warriors tonight.
So, Bill, when we have guests on for the first time, the first question that we always present them with is this one.
Are you a member of the Communist Party? Or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
Unfortunately, no, gentlemen. I got kicked out of the first meeting because I voiced my support for Baron von Ungern-Sternberg, but not for the want of trying.
See, I don't even know if that's a clever joke or not. I'm just going to assume that it is.
Well, there for the history.
If you had to do pin the tail on the political compass, are you comfortable telling us where you would be, or is that a secret?
Somewhere lower end of the chart, somewhere on the right.
Uh-huh.
It varies sporadically. Depends on the day. How many glasses of gin have I had?
All right. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Andrew Tate this week. So I thought that we would get on to topic with a question, and the question is, what do Keanu Reeves, Emilia Clarke, Harry Styles, the Flash Gordon guy, Wesley Snipes, and Andrew Tate all have in common with each other?
They're all white.
Oh, I should have put Oprah Winfrey in here as well. No, that's not the right answer. Anyone else want to take a stab? It's really obvious. It's the name of the show.
They're all black.
They've all played comic book characters in.
Oh, they all have their own comic books in it.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves made over $1 million on Kickstarter, and Emilia Clarke did a comic about periods. I think it was called Mom, about some period powers.
I had
a period piece.
How Game of Thrones of her.
Wasn't that a character in The Boys as a joke?
Probably. Yeah. So this week, my KGB agents brought like this tweet to my attention, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is the one that we're gonna do." Like for the topic, because it's perfect. One of the things that I always talk about is, Saul Alinsky's book, Rules for Radicals. Like rule number 4 of the Rules for Radicals is like never engage your opponent outside of your area of expertise. And then rule number 5 is when possible, always engage your opponent inside your area of expertise. And here on this channel, we're supposed to be a comic book channel, and he's just waltzed right in like to my Venn diagram of topics in it. So we're gonna cover that. Period powers, blood rocket whoosh. Mom is the worst comic ever. Mr. Solomon's here as well, and Alex VRB's here. A member, get a membership if you don't mind. That would be very kind of you. I always talk about the irony that the revolution just needs money.
I am once again asking for your financial support.
Yeah, lots of people hating on that Mom comic. All right, so I wanted to answer the questions about Andrew Tate this week, like who is he? Before I get to that, this is the Twitter account that done that tweet and it advertising the comic. Top G Edition 1, imminent. The Matrix has you. Retweet to break free. He's obsessed with the Matrix. Like the Matrix is Andrew Tate's version of the lizard people. Like it's his way of saying Jews without saying Jews. This is the account that's tweeting this. I just want you to notice, I'm putting this on the record, that it has 7,670 followers, like, which is a lot. Like, this is a great following to followers ratio. You know, this is a big account, apparently. A top G, yeah. So, who is Andrew Tate? Like, is he the internet boogeyman that like people say he is? Is he a misogynist hate speaker, or just a misunderstood comedian? Is he an agent provocateur for an alphabet agency? Is he Neo, like flying through the Matrix, or is he just some fucking chav from Luton who got a Bugatti or 2 Bugattis, like whatever? So I thought it'd be a good idea for us to start by watching like a couple of little clips of Andrew Tate, so we can get a taste of his personality and perhaps an understanding of his ideology. So let's.
He looks like a thin version of Kingpin.
He looks like a bar manager working at a Weatherspoons who's about to chuck me out for wearing Skechers.
One of the things with Andrew Tate is that he is mixed race. His father is African American and his mother's a white British northern lady. But he doesn't look.
I wouldn't think that based on what I've seen, Kami. He does not look black at all.
No, I agree. He's totally white passing. In fact, I would argue that he looks more Lebanese or something. Like it's got like a slight Mediterranean flavor or whatever. So please feel free to interrupt me, because we have to break it up anyway for copyright reasons. Like so yeah, let's.
Andrew Tate isn't dumb. He's just a sex trafficker.
So I deliberately chose this video because I wanted to show some of his dumbest things that he says. But this compilation of dumb things, most of it's pretty based on it. Like so,
it's reality based.
That's just
look.
Andrew, why do you have a machete next to your bed? And my answer is simple. Why wouldn't I have a machete next to my bed? Why don't you have a machete next to your bed? So yeah, someone knocks on my door in the middle of the night. I have to go answer the door, instantly pick up my machete. Yeah, but that's weird. It's really not weird. In fact,
I have like an Indian World War I sword next to my bed. Like, I don't think that's weird to have a machete next to your bed. Anyone else got a machete next to your bed, or a weapon of choice for if you're burgled during the night?
No, I keep them all in this room.
I think most men with family and children to protect have strategically placed household items that can be used to defend themselves, shall we say?
My bedside weapon is a flanged mace.
So obviously, being in the UK, there's sort of laws prohibiting us to protect ourselves as our friends across the pond.
I think that kind of machete with the serrated back is getting banned in the UK.
Yeah.
Though why you go wrong with cutout pieces on a machete when it's already so thin, it kind of bewilders me.
And you're more likely...
I use like a 9-pound flanged mace for my bedside. I've got a bag downstairs. Like,
I saw an article in the paper a couple of months ago about some burglars that broke into someone's house, and as their weapon of choice, they sprayed cleaning chemicals like into the eyes of the victims, and it really shocked me to read that, because that's one of my strategies for if there's a burglar in it, like as a semi-violent, like long distance ranged weapon, cleaning spray, like and obviously I'm not the only person who thought of it. We do have another guest who has arrived, the secretary for the revolution, a man with the sex appeal of a trans ginger agent Smith. It's stencil artist Jan. Hello.
Hey, Jan Province.
Hello, Jan.
Welcome.
Hello. But unfortunately, it's only a flying visit because I've still not left to get back home yet. So I just wanted to pop on to say hello. Unfortunately, I can't stay because I've still got to go. I've still got to get home.
Jan's so wealthy, he has 2 homes, folks. He's just leaving his second home, going to his first home.
He's actually in the bourgeois summer house at his second home.
Exactly, in the summer house. So I've not left yet. So I'm even on the shaky cam. So
how's Charlie?
Not great. We had a little time out today, and I think it's probably a bit too much on the ankle because she was saying it's starting to play up again. So we were late getting back. So I haven't even left to get home yet. So
Jan, do you keep a weapon next to your bed, like for protection in the nighttime?
Of course, Charlie.
Yeah, exactly. What do I get? What, a bedroom? The pen, because it's mightier than the sword. And on that bombshell. Right, I've got to go because I've got to get driving. I'll see you guys later.
All right, come on, get out of town.
Bye.
I up until up until very recently, I did have a very good like burglar deterrent system. I had a Japanese Akita that weighed sort of like over 40 kilos, and not even the postman would want to come and knock on the door. So like, I could imagine it would keep away burglars. I'd recommend sort of a big dog is also a very good, it's a good warning system to get you ready. Also,
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Like you'll get a tip off rather than waking up to find him in your bedroom naked.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm assuming the burglar's naked. All burglars are naked, right?
Unless your dog is a chicken shit bastard that doesn't bark.
That's my dog.
That's what I would say.
even the little dogs, like the little ones, will give it the yap and stuff if sort of things go past. So it's just that little couple of extra seconds you need. Like it's definitely. Well, that's why we tamed them, I guess. So, they used to look after the tribes and bark if some animals come near and get the men of the tribe ready with their weapons.
Cool. All right, let's carry on.
One, depending on the room, between 1 and 3 machetes hidden in every single room in my house. Look
up the highest IQs in the world. The first 10, first 20. Look them up. Are they men or women? I haven't done this. Look it up.
It's highest IQ in the world. Literally what comes up. Marilyn von Savant has one of the world's highest IQs. She is known as the smartest person in the world.
Cool. Then all right, cool. Then I'm totally wrong. There's no
that's a fact I would have checked like before getting someone else to check it. Like
really, the smartest person on earth is a woman. No wonder the world's fucked up.
What's interesting about
what's
interesting about her? Oh, go on.
Go on, Mark. I was just saying we got to get rid of Google fact checking because it's proved me wrong several times, like at Christmas dinner or when you go to visit the family, and you just want to argue your dumb point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot like when I was a teenager, I would take lots of LSD and ask questions, deep questions like, do fish have lungs? Like and you could ponder that for 12 hours. Like now you can just Google it and find out straight away. Oh yeah, and the other thing I was going to say, the smartest woman in the world that they just referred to, her surname was von Savant, like savant being the same as the word savant, like it's an example of nominative determinism, unless it's a stage name. Von Savant's a pretty cool surname.
Female alive, even with a machete, that would stand a chance against the immense power I possess.
I was getting on a plane and I could see.
He said no female alive with a machete could take him in it, and I would wager that Gina Carano with a machete would be able to take him, only because of the machete. In a one-on-one, hand-to-hand. Maybe
Amanda Nunes.
He's only a cruiserweight. He's not that heavy for 6'3".
This man needs a heavy dose of humility.
You can tell that he's never really got. How do I say it? He hasn't been handed his ass yet, and not that I'm offering to do that. It obviously
he was a kickboxer. He has competed in combat sports.
In fact, I did see a video where he got knocked out in one, maybe 2 punches or something. But incredibly quickly. I would have put it in the show, but it's asking to be copyright.
But I think getting beat in a match with rules is different to getting your ass handed to you in the street. It's a whole different.
Again, he's in the cruiserweight category, which is kind of a different beast to say the heavy. When you're in the cruiserweight, it's a bit more. It's more likely to get the points, whereas when you're in the heavyweight, it's more likely to end with someone getting their skull caved in. Case in point, like Kimbo Slice at one point punched a man in the face so hard his eye flew out. And I've not heard of any of that happening in cruiserweight category before, but you never know.
Put a cruiserweight in that match, though. That'd be fun.
I think snapping is more prevalent at that sort of weight, and you just kick through someone's leg. Where was this? Hostman says, I remember reading that a professional martial artist said that he would not engage someone who had a knife while he was unarmed. Just saying. Yeah, like in the street, what's the point? Like running away is a victory. Like you win on points or something. There's no points in the street. Don't die in. Make sure the winner.
My respect for Andrew Tate increased immeasurably when I found out he was friends with Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal. That's a character as well.
2 great people.
Makes sense.
Maybe we'll do an episode about him in the future.
Oh, there's a whole trove of dirt on Seagal from over the years. Good grief.
Yeah, one of the greatest actors. He's very likable with fellow actors, and he gets on really well with women, especially women half of his age. I have his movie collection.
Ryan, does he have pick a good one where he fights communists, which is I'm gonna wager a lot of them. And we'll do an episode of that of the show that I was talking about it. That's a good excuse. Bristolian Dave says, so many people underestimate weight advantage, not even talking muscle, fat too. And Dave would know because he's a big boy. He's very tall.
You've got to avoid making comments like that.
He's a big boy, the biggest boy. He's a big boy, the biggest boy.
Make it sound like a Johnny Cash song. Siege Perilous says training helps, but weapons are nasty and groups attacking you is a whole different ballgame. Yeah, in the street, just run away. Like not dying is winning in the street.
Through the cockpit that a female was a pilot, and I took a picture and I said, most women I know can't even park a car. Why is a woman flying my plane? And they banned me.
I smoke cigars, but I know what I'm doing. Give me a big fat cigar. I'm risking cancer to look like a mafia boss. Fine. I do know how to administer CPR. However,
cigars are like a phallic symbol in it, like Freudianly. The first time I ever heard that, I've never looked at a cigar the same way in it. Like you're just puffing on the end of a big cock. I say that, I smoke cigarettes, they're just little cocks in it. Like, what's the difference? All right, here we go.
However, I will not administer CPR unless you're a hot female. If you're some fat dude and you just had a heart attack and I don't really know you, you're going to die. I mean, if you're a really good friend, no, not even if you're a friend. If you're my friend, you just can't be I had a heart attack. Get the fuck up. What's wrong with you? Go hospital later. Have a drink. But if you're some dude I don't know and you need CPR and everyone's looking at me, who knows CPR? Well, me. Help him. No. Why? Because I ain't gay.
Imagine one day.
It's funny. Like, that's a good bit. Like, if it was saying that on stage with a microphone, like, I'd say that's comedy, innit? Like, that's a comedy bit. Like,
so people who smoke are gay, and he won't use CPR because he doesn't want to be gay, but he smokes, so he's gay. All smokers are gay. That's another one of my sayings. If you smoke a fag, then you are a fag.
Yeah, that means something very different. In America, smoking a fag. Well Hung and Dung says Mark prefers little cocks. Confirmed. In that picture, he does. I must agree with that. Hosman says it's not gay to give life-saving CPR. Yeah, but it's pretty funny, and it did make me, when he was saying that, I put myself in that position mentally, imagined, ran the scenario that, some big, fat, ugly, sweaty dude is dying on the floor, and there's a group of people. Am I gonna give CPR to that guy, or am I gonna let someone else do it?
Out of everyone on the panel, who would you least want to give CPR to?
Stop living out your gay fantasy, Kenzo.
I haven't seen Bill's face, so he could be like the fucking elephant man down there or something.
Okay, we'll skip that one.
I ain't giving CPR to any of you. You can all drop dead.
Oh no, my penis has had a heart attack. What are we doing? This has gone off the rails. Who's more of a lolcow, organized chaos, or Andrew Tate?
Organized chaos, without a shadow of a doubt.
Andrew Tate's got a couple of funny promos, at least.
Yeah, okay, so I would say that often I'm laughing with Andrew Tate. That thing that you just said about CPR, I laughed, in an uncontrolled way, I didn't deliberately laugh. Do you know what I mean?
Involuntary.
I'm laughing with Andrew Tate, whereas laughing at organized chaos, lolcow is you laugh at them, not with them. I think is a thing. Jabba says, "Mark, you're not supposed to use your tongue." All right.
You're sitting in Paris. You're sitting there having a coffee, and terrorists roll through with AKs. And the person next to you has their brains blown out. You're going to stand there and be like, waiting to die. I'm going to be like, bang, oh, I've seen that before. Okay, boom, boom, duck and dive in, take one terrorist out. Next, get the AK, go Rambo, take out all of Pakistan with a Jeep. I don't play games.
How do you feel about women?
Take out all of Pakistan.
You'll be joining the fuckers.
Oh yeah, he is Muslim now. That's the thing.
The Orthodox Church breathed a sigh of relief as he converted. There's a fucking bullet dodge there, boys.
Oh, that thing that he said about, if there's a terrorist situation, he said, you're going to be frozen like this, and he did a goofy face or whatever. One of the things that I've trained myself over my life to do is not do that. I can remember a very young age of 7 or 8 or something, my glass fell off the side, off a shelf or something. And everyone in my family saw it fall and watched it smash. And, my father said isn't it funny the way that time goes slowly, when it's falling, and you can see it fall for ages. And I thought, yeah, that is weird. Next time I'm going to try and catch it. And from that point on, always did that. And I'm incredibly good at catching falling stuff. I'm actually terrible at catching. If you threw me something long distance, I would totally misjudge it or whatever. But when a thing falls real close by, I'm really good at catching it. When my girlfriend was giving birth, so the most stressful day of my entire life, there was one moment where the midwife just fucking ragged the bed round from one side of the room to the other, and it hit this bedside table that had a jug of ice water on it, and I caught that jug of ice water on it, on the most stressful day of my life. That's how in the fucking zone I was, on that day.
You'd be surprised how well your lizard brain compensates.
And that's just practice, but maybe it's because I did it when I was a child. Who knows? If Andrew Tate, it's a good pun. If Andrew Tate wasn't bullied at school, he fucking should have been.
From what I've read, he was quite fervently being, the only kid in his area with a Chirac accent.
Because he only moved to Luton as a 11-year-old or something. So
yeah, wasn't it from where did he live before? Chicago.
Yeah, from Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago to Luton ain't exactly. They're not the two nicest places to grow up, to be
It
honest.
sounds like a shit Frank Sinatra song, that does, from Chicago to Luton.
Straight. I was about to say, make a crack. Straight out of Luton would make a good album.
Oh yeah, that's a good one as well. Sure,
And the area, particularly, he grew up in Luton, and the high school that he went to are particularly rougher than most areas.
Yeah. Oh, so I did some fact checking into like his story of poverty or whatever, because that's the thing that I do, and that all seems to check out. Like, he definitely did grow up in a poor area and stuff. Lord Nemesis here is mocking my speech impediment, where say like all the time. It's a thing. I'm aware of it. Mark is the hero we need. Not all heroes like him. All right.
Serving in the military, stuff like that.
I think that's the biggest mistake a female could possibly make. Why the f would you do that?
Yeah.
One, you're at it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Like anyone who's out here who's actually been through something, as I have, knows that when the fight goes down, you need the women protected in a way. You don't need the screaming in your head, right? So they're at it. That's the first thing. And the second thing, it's part of the psyop. They're masculine in the Western world. They're trying to turn females masculine. It's not an accident. None of this is an accident. All of this is done very, very purposefully, and it's to destroy the will of man.
All right, so there's a lot to unpack there. Firstly, like, I agree with him that women joining the military is a bad idea, but that's because I think anyone joining the military is a bad idea. Like, I would try and talk anyone out of doing that. Secondly, I would agree that in a war situation or a Titanic situation, we should get the women out first, because women between their legs, they possess a portal to the ethereal realm where people come from. Like, they literally like
hell
make new people.
Not all women, apparently.
So the ethereal portal is hell. Babies come out of hell into heaven.
It could well be, yeah.
This is we're in trouble.
And then the third point that he squeezed into those two sentences, like, I think that, so he said that they're trying to make women more masculine. And I think that that's a misreading of the situation. What's happened is, by allowing women to enter the workforce, they've depleted the value of labor by 50%, so they can pay us less wages and get double the number of employees. That's a thing. Capitalism, that's the bad guy, like always is, always has been.
The reason I feel compelled to say the things I say and do the things I do, etc., is because I live in a country where there's no femme-centric government that's going to come and destroy me. And also in my relationships with females, there's no woman telling me, Andrew, just put the mask on. Andrew, just be quiet. Andrew, it's late. Don't lose your job. Andrew, the kids, blah, blah, blah. They're just sucking men down the pit.
Oh my.
Well, I started my
Top G, ladies and gentlemen.
So yeah, that's the sort of thing that he says. Like, I don't consider any of that too controversial. Like, I disagree with some of it. Like, some of it's, I agree with. It's nuanced or whatever. Like, it's not as simple as everything that he says is wrong. And that's how you should treat all sources of information. Like, take what's good and what works for you and assimilate that into your ideology. And everything that doesn't work for you, discard it. That's how Christians read the Bible and how other religious people ingest their religious information. So there's no reason that we can't do that with other ideas. And
I personally, Mark, cannot wait for Tateism to take over Romania, and they conquer Moldova and also Hungary, because the Hungarians want Transylvania. We'll see Tateism spread all across southeastern Europe, and the Tate lifestyle becomes the way in that part of the world. Everyone, of course, will have to speak in a sort of English, Londonish accent, because that is the Tatist language. Tatum, yeah.
He sounds kind of Yank still, though, doesn't he?
Very heavily so, I'd say.
It certainly It doesn't sound northern, that's for sure. Or
No,
like
you don't have the English urban. He uses some of the UK urban slang terms, but he certainly doesn't have the accent for it.
So Andrew Tate had 4.7 million Instagram followers before he got banned off everywhere, and then eventually when Elon Musk bought Twitter, he brought him back into the fold, which kickstarted a chain of events that led to Andrew Tate being more famous than he'd ever been before, when he got into a little Twitter fight, and now even normies know who he is, and he's in the actual printed press and stuff.
So my 10-year-old son knows who he is.
Yeah, exactly. Charlie was telling us before that they have been briefed at schools how to
yeah, they did that here too.
Stuff like that's a real thing.
And that's why I was compelled to look into him, because I was hearing from a lot of media sources and the school and that, who is this guy? And from a lot of the stuff I was saying, like you said, a lot of it was either just him being a bit of a knobhead or coming out with some base takes, and I was just like, I couldn't find anything that made me want to, other than you said, he's a bit of a knobhead and says
How
some stupid
slow
shit.
though is the British establishment? They cannot adapt to change. They're even slower than the American establishment. That's why when American culture warriors take on the British press or the British media, for the most part, they run rings around the bastards because they are so ingrained in the 20th century mindset. People in the United Kingdom still think newspapers fucking matter when they do not.
But it seems that, like I said, all I could find on him was the whole misogyny part, and to me, a lot of the other stuff he says other than that ain't so bad,
So you touch on an interesting thing. When I put these slideshows together or whatever, I try and balance the sources between your left-wing medias, the Guardian, the Mirror and stuff, and the more right-wing ones, the Mail, the Sun, stuff like that, to try and present a more balanced image. I read them all to extract what information is concurrent across different representations of the same story, so you can deduce what's actual facts and what's spin or whatever. But what's interesting is all of the representations of Andrew Tate across all old mainstream media is all the same. They're all singing from the same hymn sheet. Interestingly, I found a lot of them using what's clearly press releases that are written by someone at Tate's group or whatever. But yeah, so he got in trouble after a spat with Greta Thunberg, a spat that on the internet was being referred to as Pizza Tate, which I thought was pretty funny. So, he took he had a go at her, and he was boasting about his 33 supercars that he possesses, including his Bugatti. And this led to him being arrested. But does anyone know the story of how this image led to his downfall?
They traced his address
from that specific brand of pizza that was only in that area, and it includes an area code. So as per usual, we really should realize, yes, Tate is right wing because he got into an argument with a leftist on Twitter and got doxxed.
Yeah, he hit all the checkboxes there.
Precisely.
But nothing will happen to him.
Oh no, because he's rich and powerful, and the rich and powerful never suffer the consequences of their actions until after they're dead. That's how that works. So
that's why he went to Romania, is because it was more affordable to pay up the corruption money. not realizing that means it's also cheaper to outbid him.
Yeah, and it also means that they'll take bribes from victims as well. Like, who's Dominic? Yeah, so here it is. Jerry's Pizza, like they're able to trace it through the pizza store. That's correct. Hence the Pizza Tate pun in it. Like, I like that it echoes the whole Pizza Gate thing. And I've seen some people on the internet trying to say that that's a deliberate like code, part of him being a CIA operative, like because the CIA do things in codes like that. I don't know. It's dumb. Jerry's Pizza anyway. Here's a review from Jerry's Pizza that I found on the internet. It's from Andrew Tate and it says pizza's so good I would get arrested for it. That's pretty funny. And a quick sidebar or whatever. Here he is holding the Quran on his way to court. And like we mentioned earlier, in 2016 he reverted to Islam. So the point is he shouldn't be eating pepperoni pizza in the first place because that's haram. Like I'm sure he obeys all of the beating your wives rules of Islam or whatever, but you're not allowed pork, bro. That's against the rules. You're gonna go to hell. And I've read the Quran. Like it's not that bad. It's fine. Like it's no more or less violent than Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, like those books of the Bible. Like it's sort of on par with those. Like I don't think there's anything too bad there. Andrew Tate was arrested on charges of human trafficking. Not charged on it though. Like they're still trying to do that. It's kind of awkward, like whether they're going to get it through or not.
I said, Mark, I watched a little bit of their first podcast that they did, their emergency tape thing that they do, him and his brother. And his brother was specifically charged for 6 counts of human trafficking, and it's been now dropped down to just 1. And apparently the charge is that they were bringing girls into the country to do TikToks and then extort them for the money.
Yeah, so that is correct. One of the many revenue streams that Andrew Tate has is his webcam business, where he would travel to the likes of Moldova and Transnistria and these Eastern European countries and bring women back, like to make TikTok videos and to be sexy webcam girls and to convince men to give them money. Like we all know that's a thing. Like Twitch exists. Like we are on Twitch also. So that's a thing that people do. But one of the allegations is, that he's not actually paying them, is just keeping all the money for himself, which is, like slavery or whatever. Like this isn't even wage slavery. That's like proper slavery, if true. Like, that's unconfirmed. Cam Girl's House for Cash. Yeah, that's the deal. There's
that's when people hear. Yeah, I was saying that when people hear people trafficking, they automatically think it has to do with like some, rather than extortion, they think it's more of an abuse thing.
That's the loophole they'll use.
Yeah.
It's a fairly broad offense as well, because the guy who did the whole like Tunuk Tune music video guy, like, with the guy who just uses like copies of himself in the video, that guy got done for people trafficking as well. Because what happened was, in his native India, some guy had said, "Yo, I'll come help you on your American tour if you'll drop me off in Florida on your way out." And in the end, the musician didn't end up following through with it. So the guy went to the police and accused him of attempted people trafficking. When literally it was just, okay, we'll drop you off there. and won't bring you back with us when we go back to India after the tour. That was it, and that got him an actual indictment for people trafficking. It is a very broad offence, and especially in certain areas. So it could mean like sex slavery. It could mean just you aren't getting these women visas. But it's got a hell of a lot of stigma behind it as well.
Yep.
Yeah, it certainly sounds bad, doesn't it? Like the media are definitely painting a bad picture here. Oh, Jan has returned.
Hail Jan.
Hello. I'm back.
Are you there now? Are you home?
No, I've decided to stay over the night, and I'll go early morning tomorrow.
All right, cool.
So,
So we're currently going over the accusations against Andrew Tate, like getting people up to date with those, and we'll get back to looking at his book. So yeah, webcam girls. A thing is allegedly women who worked for him were branded with his name in it. Like apparently that's a thing that is being accused of. You know, you can't prove that's not consensual. Like I could get stencilized Jan tattooed on my ass. Like that doesn't mean anything.
Owned by Yan Province.
Yeah.
Janissaries.
But the point is, this is another thing that they're putting into the mixture, like to help sell the idea that there's people trafficking. Which
is like Smallville all over again, isn't it?
Like Smallville.
Yeah, it wasn't the girl from Smallville, wasn't she? Part of some
Part of the Nexium cult.
Yeah,
they were literally branding their flesh though with like.
Jabba says this was going so well, then Jan came on.
That's my that's the quote on the back of my autobiography.
Hossman says the sex trafficking could just be he flew out his girlfriend so they could bump uglies. Yeah, like especially if you've got a private jet, like you should be flying people out all the time, innit? Like and it, why aren't you drug smuggling, bro? Like you got a private jet, like you know that's gangster 101 stuff, innit? Like
No. Gangster 101 is you get into the equestrian business selling horses and then you hide ketamine inside the horse blankets because it covers up the smell.
Tell me
there's
more.
There's a trick for you.
Damn.
So yeah, allegedly branding women on it. Like I'm not too sure about this. Like whether that counts.
It seems pretty spurious to be
honest. Aria, would you like to read this one for us? This one's quite a passage, so kept it all in.
Oh, sure. Prosecutors allege that Tate recruited the women on social media platforms and lured them to Bucharest by falsely professing his love and intention to marry them. The tactics were known as the lover boy method, which is used by criminals to recruit victims who are suffering from economic hardship by seducing them with gifts and promises of a better life abroad. The 6 victims were forced to take part in videos on the adult content platform OnlyFans and the video sharing app TikTok, with the 2 brothers allegedly pocketing all the proceeds.
Yeah, so that nicely like sums up the whole argument against like what he's doing and how he's doing it. If it's true that he's telling these women that he's going to marry them and stuff like that, and then is tricking them into doing it, like that's really mean and uncool. I don't know if it's illegal, maybe. Like I don't know the rules about it, but it's mean regardless. Like if you don't do that.
Yeah, but we are assuming here that the British mainstream media is being honest and accurate when they are notorious for not being honest or accurate.
That's very true, and you remind me of that quote. You know, if you read the press, then if you don't read the press, you're uninformed, and if you do read the press, then you're misinformed. Those are the options. So again, we don't know if it's true. Like luckily we can count on the thorough Romanian Justice Department to figure out the truth. So here in the UK, he was accused of choking out a woman, but at the time, those claims were dismissed by police here because they didn't have enough evidence on it. So this isn't the first time that he's been accused of doing something like this, but of course, being accused of doing something isn't the same thing as doing it. If there's got away with it in the courts, that's the rules. He got away with it, and that's how it goes. Richie Dupe says sad men giving him money.
Not to defend the guy, but it's not about getting away with it. It's if he was accused of something and the courts found him innocent, he's innocent of those charges.
When you're an enemy of the establishment, folks, it doesn't matter if you're black or white, old or young, rich or poor. You are their adversary, and they will bring you down by any and all means necessary. That's why I stand by the Alliance of Alternative, and I would happily speak to Andrew Tate. I'd happily speak to Tristan Tate, and I'd happily speak to everyone on this platform. Because we all have one thing in common. We despise the establishment and everything it represents.
If Andrew Tate's watching and he wants a link, just DM me. I'm sure I'll let you on. So a major contributor to his net worth is his Hustler University program, an academy that charges a monthly membership fee. And I just chose this picture here because I wanted to point out, he's doing that triangle thing with his fingers. And of course, the conspiracy people on the internet say this means Illuminati and,
just part of a secret organization. Ooh.
It is a glowy technique, but it's just because there's a reflexology pressure point in there that helps regulate stress.
Oh, and it's a known power position to do that, especially this low. You're projecting an erect penis at your opponent, and it subconsciously threatening.
Angela Merkel used to famously do this exact pose, and then everyone pointed out that's the sign language for vagina.
This way is
small symbol for vagina.
Yeah, the sign language for vagina is like this. You just make a vagina shape. And the sign language for penis is the letter P on your nose, like P nose. It uses a lot of compound signs like that, where you take two signs and put them together. Whatever.
I thought it was if you put your hand that way and I put mine that way.
That's a chicken's vagina, bro. That's what that means in America.
Jesus.
What? No, I won't do that. I was going to ask about what another sign means, but I won't. Is it?
Yeah.
Well, doesn't what Andrew Tate does as a creator through his Hustlers University, isn't that very similar to, say, a YouTube channel and its membership scheme? You pay a certain amount a month, and in return you get something for it. Isn't this exactly the same method that a prominent creator and up-and-coming creators are utilizing? It terrifies the establishment. And at the end of the day, folks, our leaders and the mainstream media don't want you to control your money, so they highlight examples of people who want to earn a living to, pretend that they're scammers, when the biggest scammers are people who are stealing money from our pockets through taxes.
Very true.
Wow.
Can
I look forward to my payment, Andrew Tate.
I do have a question about Hustlers University.
Go on.
Is it authorized by the Student Loans Company?
I don't think you could spend your student loan on it. No.
That's a shame because they could have. That would have been amazing if you could get your £9,000 student loan, put it in the Hustlers University.
Just send it straight to him.
It's not like if you felt like you'd been ripped off by this program, it's not like you could argue you weren't informed you were being hustled.
Yeah,
it's like if they called it School for Scoundrels, like, oh no, I've been robbed.
Like the guy's
seen this coming.
The guy's got Snake in his name, like Andrew Cobra Tate. So if you get scammed by him, then surely it's your own fault. You should have seen that one coming.
You know, Kenzo sounds like a snake. Are you sure you're not a snake, Kenzo?
Does it?
I don't know. It just sounds like a snake name.
It was a wrestler. Kenzo Nagasaki used to be a wrestler.
All right, so I was going to let this pass, but I'm going to have to address it now.
Sure.
So taxation is the reclamation of stolen surplus value in it. You're still getting to steal more out of the value or whatever.
Plus my ass, Mark. I'm broke as fuck.
Yeah, because you don't get the surplus value. The person above you does, or the person above him. I assume it's a him, because it probably is. So it says here that his Hustler University has over 160,000 active members. And if you do the maths, $49.99 a month times 160,000 over 12 months, we're talking like hundreds of millions of dollars in it.
Fucking hell, it's like 5 times the cost of Game Pass. Jesus Christ, Andrew Tate. Well done. How many Americans have you tricked through this scheme?
How the hell can you not afford to pay off the Romanians? It's like more than their GDP.
So one of the things that his Hustler University does is, it's like got one of those incentives. If you recruit another person, you'll get a kickback off of them, in a sort of pyramid scheme-y fashion. But if you do the maths on pyramid schemes, if you have 15 people who recruit 15 people who recruit 15 more people, that's more than the population of Earth. When it squares and shit, it goes up bare fast, and that's what makes them unsustainable. So that's dumb. But then he says things like, we grow stronger every day while traditional education becomes less and less relevant, which I agree with again in it. So it's got this great rainbowy language, of being able to present lots of different positions at the same time. So something resonates with you, the listener. Go on,
sorry, did you just say bare fierce?
I don't think so.
No,
maybe
he did, didn't he?
No, I think he used bear in the sense of lots.
He said bear fast.
Bear fast, yeah.
That terminology to use for mathematics, but he's got his ways.
I think the commie bastard can't speak properly. How Bristolian of
He's
him.
trying to use Tate language.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't realise Mark had become a roadman.
A roadman?
Yes, that's the English version of roadman.
Here's the maths: £96 million a year.
Carry on.
Which is hundreds of millions of dollars. I saw a clip where he claims to be a billionaire in dollars, but not quite in pounds. And it was interesting because I didn't believe him when he said he had over $1 billion, but when he said it's not quite £1 billion, I really believed him. The disappointment was genuine. I don't believe that can be faked. All right, so the point is 200,000 monthly subscribers or whatever should theoretically translate into the biggest comic book in history in it. This should make $94 million or whatever, 94 million pounds. So Richard Duke says Tate never gives an explanation of how to make wealth. He just jibber jabbers like a psychopath. All right, so
it broke up there a little bit. Did you say that this comic book could make £96 million?
Yeah, if everyone who joins his thing backs his book, then I could make that much over a year, sure. Like, I'm being a little hyperbolous.
So, like, what wasn't it industry news when one company lost 200 grand one quarter?
Yeah, exactly. IDW, I believe, made £5 million in the last quarter.
Damn.
Yeah, that's not good, is it? And I saw that their stock price is close to $1. I saw people saying, "Oh, if it dips under $1, like we could potentially like buy IDW, like which would be hilarious."
Just get Andrew Tate to buy it.
Comic books kind of are like the penny stocks of the pink industries.
Don't worry, folks. The Repaverse will destroy everything.
Wahangin Dong says Mark believes in universal basic income and unicorns. I don't believe in unicorns, but I did learn an interesting fact this week that the German word for unicorn is Einhorn. And when I learned that, I instantly thought of, the movie Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. The detective in that surname is Einhorn. And, it turns out that she has a penis, like as a sort of unicorn, like
Tranny demon.
So I got that joke 20 years too late, but Richie Dupe says if Shane Davis had as many subs as Richter, he'd make 38 million quid. Hello, King Salmon Fish, welcome to the show. All right, yeah. So this is if you go to the website for the book, this is it. It's just like your generic sort of mailing list thing, which is fine. Like, if it's not out, like, do a mailing list, of course. There's some examples of the interior art here, which, is something. As a writer, like, I truly believe that writing can elevate, like, the art in a way that the art can't elevate the writing. Like, so, I'm not as strict on that as some people might be. Like, I've seen books equal to this quality on websites like Broken Frontier. This would fit in really well over there. Like, I think those guys would really love it. So I signed up to the mailing list, obviously, because I'm trying to find information for the show. And this is the email that they sent back to us. Kenzo, do you mind doing us the honors of reading this email for us?
It says, "You made the right choice, but it is the sum of the right choices over time that count. Don't get lazy. I can't reveal all just yet. Just understand that it's time to start paying attention. The chosen one."
If that's not a sales pitch.
What a load of nothing that is. Doesn't tell us anything. Like, I don't know what I expected. I was hoping for like some preview of the book, like to show you or something, but nothing. Like, there's so little information like available. Interestingly, if you go to the YouTube channel for this comic book company, you'll notice that they've got a whopping 1 subscriber. Like, and remember earlier I made a point to point out to you that the Twitter account had 7,670 followers on it. Like, and he's translated that into 1 YouTube subscriber. So if you're in the chat, like, please go and subscribe, like, and leave him a comment saying Comic Mark sent you. Let's like kick this one. It's nest right in the balls. So if this guy is part of Hustlers University, where they learn how to do this kind of multi-level marketing thing, is done really bad. Like, his marketing of this, like, most of his Twitter followers come from Andrew Tate retweets. Like, you've got 1 YouTube subscriber. Like,
Top G's banned off YouTube, right?
He is, yeah, but there's no reason that he couldn't retweet a YouTube video and say,
"Has this guy got a Rumble account at all?"
I don't have one. I didn't check on this guy. In fact, that's a good question.
Yeah, I know he's more prevalent on Rumble, most certainly. Well, Mr. Tate is anyway. Both the Tate brothers.
Yeah, so the amount of information on the book is incredibly minimal. There's not that much out there yet. Here are two covers that are found. So any observations on these covers?
Look at that chest, folks. Look at that fucking chest. It looks so deformed.
Scoliosis is a rough condition.
It looks straight. It's straight digital by the looks of it. It's not penciled ink and digital color. It just looks like it's straight digital. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that's an observation.
There's a
I would say that Andrew drew this himself, and he would justify it probably by saying it's gay to hire another man to draw your comic book for you.
It's ironic considering that this looks a lot like gay porn.
What?
Just have that kind of vibe about it.
Do you speak from experience, man?
Yeah, we defer to your superior knowledge on the subject of gay porn. Tell us more.
I don't know. It's just something about it that kind of makes Axel and Harlem look like a clan rally by comparison.
Change his name to Backdoor Bill, Commie.
So is it like a crime thriller conspiracy book, or does he have powers and his tattoo lights up when he does some shonen shit?
So I have been unable to work that out from what's available. What's interesting is some of the artwork that I've seen, he's rocking that big Islamic beard thing, which is only from post-arrest times. So maybe it's gonna tell.
I think I saw a picture like that on Twitter, where it's him post-arrest, or as he got out of prison, sort of reevaluating his life. Because he said actually on that podcast that I did watch, he said that while he was in prison, he's a big believer in chi, and that's what he was doing. He was in there building up the energy in his muscles. So if anyone decided to take him on in that prison, he was just going to unleash it all on them.
Having seen a few snippets of his comics, he's a massive Wu-Tang fan. Both the old films and the band.
But that makes sense.
Believes in chi. My goodness.
Well, there was a big moon for it when Kanye came out with the whole dragon energy thing, right? Because that's what chi is. It's Kundalini. It's the fucking chakra stuff.
Yeah, that's what he said. It's channeling energy into your muscles and charging it up.
Jabba says that Jan went all quiet when they mentioned gay porn. I didn't submit, yeah.
Is Charlie not satisfying you?
Charlie's a man. It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are the covers on it. And they're fine.
I like how the heads are both pretty accurate to photography, but both of the torsos are wrong in different ways.
When I was top G.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Jan. What the fuck is that? You look like Elton John, not Andrew
You
TATE.
look like Elton John LARPing as Prince.
Dennis Taylor.
God, man.
This is me being the top G.
Top G, more like Ali G.
I was going to make a crack earlier. Top G implies the existence of bottom G, and now we found it.
I think that's Tristan. So those are the covers. I like the Matrixy one a bit more, than the one on the left. But
why is there an 1800s nobleman with a pipe in the background?
That's the bad guy.
Oh, he's got a baseball bat. It is
we got some Gopnik with a baseball bat. We've got T-posing top G on top of a flying car, and we've got Sir, you are being hunted 1800s nobleman with big Sherlock Holmes pipe.
Tristan here looks more like Adam Friended than Daughter. All right, yeah. So those are the covers. And when I saw all of this comic book stuff, I was reminded of this tweet, from a couple of weeks ago, where he says he's never seen Star Wars. None of them, never will. Oh my God, you're missing out. Maybe you're missing out on being a multi-millionaire. Keep your movie. It made me think like, does he even like comic books? Like, it doesn't seem like the kind of thing that he would be into.
He was a billionaire.
He doesn't read, right?
Hates like video games. I know that much, even though he references them constantly.
Yeah. So I got another little clip for us to watch, which is right here.
Why an iridescent paint job on a fancy car like that? It looks like garbage.
This is a thing that I've been wanting to say the whole time. He constantly does this comeback or what color's your Bugatti? Like as a diss, like to put people in their place. And every time that he says it, it reminds me, Katie Price has a Bugatti. Like, it ain't the status symbol that you think it is. Like, if Harvey's mom has a Bugatti, like, whatever. So, what if you've got two?
Harvey Price meets Andrew Tate. That would be one hell of a show.
Fight for the ages.
He's the bad guy in the comic book.
Yeah,
it's ironic because Andrew Tate looks like a villain from the Inbetweeners.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'd put my money on Harvey. That guy, Harvey's a big lad. He's got.
Oh yeah,
he's huge.
Harvey versus Andrew Tate. I'd put my money on Harvey as well every day of the week.
Spider-Man is a bitch. If you like Spider-Man, you need to seriously reassess your life. He was a dork who got bit by a spider. Now he's super spider dork, and he still can't get laid. Who's that bitch? Mary Jane Parker, some shit. You're Spider-Man, and she still won't have sex with you. It's not.
All right, so Spider-Man gets some action, like over the 70 years that he's been alive or whatever. Like,
he's one of the biggest sluts in Marvel. He's fucked everyone.
Huge poon hound.
He is the only person of his physical build who has survived sex with She-Hulk.
Jesus.
Wow.
Mr. Fantastic had to warn him off because he kept trying to crack on to his wife.
Oh, the Bagman incident. Good times.
Aiden says, I cried earlier watching the mask scene from the Garfield Spider-Man. Like I was saying,
I too cry whilst watching Garfield.
And Path Comics says that doesn't read comics confirmed. Yeah, well, we'll see some more.
Mary Jane Parker.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, but I don't want her to know I'm Spider-Man. I want her to still think I'm a fucking nerd. If I was Spider-Man, you think that bitch wouldn't be sucking and fucking? By hook or by crook? I'd be like, bitch, I'm Spider-Man. Come here. And she'll say, okay. If by some crazy twist of fate, she goes, no, I don't want to. I'll be like, psst. Fuck you talking about no? But gee, Spider-Man.
Oh, no.
That's a bit rapey, isn't it? Like,
how very Andrew Tate of you.
Tate reminds me of that version of Spider-Man where they discovered that if you use your like spider hair climbing powers on someone's face, you can tear it off.
But it doesn't give you much. It doesn't give you much hope for the dialogue in his comic. If he said, "Oh, if I was Spider-Man, I'd be like, hey, bitch, I'm Spider-Man. Come here." So.
To be fair, based on some of the dialogue that I've seen, like that might be of a higher quality. Also, notice the Tate logo in the background, and it like that. You'll see that again later.
It looks like
my house has got Kenzo outside, like.
It does look like a restaurant or a camping store.
Yeah, it's got specific like a tapas bar kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
Tapas, yes. That's a
when I first saw that, folks, I instantly thought a budget version of Pizza Hut, but then I saw Andrew Tate and was like, whoa. Wow.
Remember, pepperoni pizza's haram, bro.
They may be
the only thing Spider-Man's doing is sitting at home jerking off. How are you a superhero if you're sitting at home jerking off?
All superheroes do that.
Spider-Man is a dork. There's nothing admirable about Spider-Man.
So Spider-Man is a dork and a geek and stuff, but that's the point, isn't it? Like, it's a power fantasy for people to, it's good for young men, not even men, like 15-year-olds and lower than that even, like to show them like, oh, it doesn't matter if you're a weak frail little boy, like you can be heroic. Like I always say, the greatest hero in the MCU is in the first Avengers movie. There's a part where like Loki's in Germany, like and he bangs his staff on the floor and shouts kneel or whatever, and everyone has to kneel. And then like one guy stands up, like some old man, and he says like, "Oh, the last time I was in anyway, that guy stands up and it like he's the greatest hero in the MCU. Is just a old man with no powers who stood up to a god. Being a hero is about doing the right thing when nobody else will, in it. Like giving CPR to a fat, bald, sweating man.
He became Super Spider-Man, and then someone killed his uncle. Some robber killed his uncle. Is this the right story?
Stay back, uncle.
Is this the right story?
What happened? Carjacker. He's been shot. But we just called the paramedics. They're on their way.
Some robber killed his uncle, and now he decides he wants to stop crime to get the robber who killed his uncle. Does he even catch that robber ever?
Yeah,
that's the first person he catches.
It's kind of like really important, isn't it?
About Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But in Andrew's version of Spider-Man, he's the bad guy. He's not a gay, he's a rapist.
What did he do? Put him in jail? Does he hang the robber by his neck in the middle of the city with rope? So he and hangs him to death. No, he takes his ass down the police station to fill in paperwork. What kind of fucking superhero are you? Killed your uncle.
And Andrew, it's not it's Spider-Man, not Spider-Clan. Jesus Christ.
I'm quite sure that Spider-Man kills him anyway, right? Like, doesn't he push him out the window?
In the movie, he does.
Yeah, but he comes back as Sandman, the third one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, of course.
This feels very much like somebody who's watched these films and is then on purposely like, didn't this guy come in and then something like happened, but I don't remember what happened. But then like, I know this happened.
And he's getting mixed up with the time he watched Darkman.
Yeah.
He is 100% pretending that he hasn't watched a Spider-Man movie in it when he clearly has. Like, can't not have.
Look at this. This is a Sam Raimi fan. Look at him.
Well, I've met people that haven't watched. I've met people that haven't watched Star Wars as well. So that could.
Yeah, that's a thing. And to be fair, like people do absorb information like this through cultural osmosis. Like when you see it being parodied in stuff, like most people could probably explain the plot of Star Wars to you, having not seen it, because they've seen
or if they've seen Family Guy.
Although that would be interesting to get someone who's not seen Star Wars and try and get them to piece the story together. Like give them a bunch of stills from the movie and ask them to try and put them in order, like see what story comes out. That could be interesting. He says this is such teen girl energy. Oh, I don't know anything about that lame thing. Yes, that's very much what it's like. Rat King says, I know he moved to the Balkans, but does he need the Balkan attitude? This is another example, like I was saying earlier, if he was on stage with a microphone to the audience, that's perfectly acceptable stand-up comedy in it. Like, and he did a good thing in that he mocked a thing that I like and made me laugh at it in it. Like, which, that's the sign that your comedy's really good. Those are the sweetest, most delicious laughs when you make like someone laugh at their own like thing that you know what I mean, like
a wheelhouse.
That's kind of cool. Mr. Solomon says, there's a YouTube video. I asked my girlfriend who'd never seen Star Wars to describe the plot of Star Wars. Every YouTube video has been done in it. See if there's anything else.
A pussy. If you killed Venom's uncle, Venom would fuck the dude up. But no, fucking Spider-Man. Oh, I'm taking him for justice. You're a fucking nerd, bro. Spider-Man's a nerd. Anyone who likes Spider-Man, by extension, is also a nerd. He was a nerd who got bit by a spider and became a super nerd. And why does he still live with his parents?
Oh,
How do you know who Venom is?
Yeah, so that's kind of the shibboleth right there.
He does kill Venom's uncle. Kills Venom's father. I can't think of their name now. The god.
So
the god, the Clintar. Yeah.
The other thing that he said, why does he live with his parents? Which made me laugh, but then I remembered he doesn't live with his parents. He lives with his aunt, which is even worse, really. Like, if you think about it. But so basically, that was 2 minutes of him saying Spider-Man's a nerd. If you like Spider-Man, you're a nerd and a loser or whatever. So, you know, that's good advertising for his comic book.
Well, like Venom, though, who is, you know, probably an allegory for steroid abuse. As if that isn't apocryphal in the situation.
So here's another like little clip that I wanted to show you.
What's interesting? What's the most important book you've ever read?
You know what's interesting? I've only read 2 books in my whole life.
Only 2
in my life. I'm not a reader.
Okay.
Every single.
What are the 2 books?
Every single thing I think I know, I've learned through experience and conversations. I read 2 books because I was in a jail cell, and they gave me.
It better be bloody Harry Potter.
One of them Spider-Man.
So he read them in jail. But we know that he went to school in the UK, so he must have read a Shakespeare at least, because, like, you know, you have to, like, although he probably didn't go to school when he was supposed to. Like, I think wagging school is pretty low on his list of crimes or whatever. Like,
when we were in school, one of the books on our year 10 syllabus was George Orwell 1984. I'm not sure that they have that one in schools anymore.
No, definitely not.
No, they live it now, so
it's more of a LARP now than the book.
It's more cosplay.
But yeah, like as I understand it, Tate, from age of 11 after the divorce of his parents, it's a single mother who was an alcoholic raising him. So I doubt he actually went to school very often.
He went to Lee Manor High School, which is like one of the rougher schools in Luton.
Apparently, he grew up mugged off relentlessly for his accent.
Then he got bitten by a radioactive spider, and things went from there.
I think he got bit by a radioactive jerk or something.
So I was arrested. It was this. I was about 24. I'll tell you the story. Why not? I'm in England. The English people are the most violent people in the world. Like, they conquered the entire earth. They're the largest empire in history. English people are innately violent. People think like England, oh yeah, everyone's in suits, little gentlemen. Go to England, right? London's like stabbing capital of the world. It's a very violent place, and the English people will fight you over nothing. They're not friendly or polite. They're very violent, especially when they drink.
That's because of the great NHS. That is, it doesn't matter if you get beat up. Like, you know, in America, you have a fight, it costs you 20 grand.
Yeah, so I can't remember if it was from Freakonomics or it's from a Frankie Boyle book, which is the idea that Americans fight. Yeah, like I said, it's 20 grand if you get into a fight and lose in America. In England, the state's got your back, so you can have as many scraps as you like. It's practically the closest thing we have to a proper sport we're good at. So my central London blood is showing.
Yeah, the area he grew up in, again, was predominantly, it was rough as anything, to be honest. I grew up on the other side of the town, and obviously back then it was less rough than it is now. But yeah, where it was a lot of like turf wars between his estate and another estate. So there was, daily stabbings, and there was a lot of shooting.
And I think...
So you're telling me, ladies and gentlemen, that Andrew Tate Kenzo and Tommy Robinson were brought up in the same fucking city.
Yeah, I didn't know Tate.
Should
Oh, you knew Tommy Robinson.
Imagine going from Chicago, Chirac itself, to Luton in Wales, and Luton, and realizing that Luton was the more dangerous place.
For real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm a similar age to Andrew Tate, and I remember in my youth, it was the height of like the chav or whatever, like where people would wear their Burberry caps and their tracksuit bottoms and their Rockport. Yeah. And there was a lot of like street crime and stuff. It was mobile phones were just taking off. Like people would rob mobile phones. I don't think people really get mugged for phones now because they're so ubiquitous. Like everyone just has them. Like
the happy slap era.
Oh yeah, happy slaps as well. Yeah. So that's like the sort of time period they grew up in, I think. And Aiden says that she assumed he was a child of wealth. Here it is. Surely he went to public school and his daddy paid his way through. That's what I thought as well. That's why as soon as I saw him saying like they grew up in poverty, I was like, I'm fact checking that shit, innit? Like, because I assume everyone who's got money now comes from money because it's the easiest way to be rich, I think.
I'm at a club. I bought a brand new phone. Some girl knocked the phone out of my hand. I tapped on her shoulder and said, "Hey, you knocked my phone out of my hand." She turns around and goes, "I don't care. It's not my phone." And start running her mouth. So I'm arguing with this girl, and then her boyfriend comes over. And then her boyfriend's like, "Hey, what's the problem with us?" I go, "She knocked my phone out of my hand. I was trying to tell her, hey, you have a problem." Then his two friends come over. Now there's three of them, and I'm up against the bar. And then one of them pushes me, so I smack it. All right, so I smack one, smack the other one. Two are out. The other guy grabs me. We start wrestling a bit. And while I'm wrestling with one of the guys, the girl, because she's English, starts trying to hit me. Right? So I didn't know if it was a girl or a guy. So I'm doing this. I turn and whack, and I smack her. I spark her. Right? So I ended up in the court for GBH against a female and grievous bodily harm, and I broke her jaw and all this stuff. And my defense was, I didn't know who's hitting me. I'm just getting hit. I don't know. Watch the CCTV. I don't know.
All right, so that's a I hit a woman confession, and like he just said that. He's sure he explained it away, like and justified it, but it's just another example, like of
again. Was it a woman or was it a Luton girl? Like this.
But so kind of people. If what was that adage from Frankie Boyle? That if you put a bullet down the center of their forehead, all that would happen is that they would whistle when they run. Like that. People underestimate how tough some birds can be, and I have seen situations like this go down where it's just a mad brawl and someone pivots and just throws a haymaker, and like, oh shit, we hit the wrong person. It's some bystander who got in to try and break it up.
Yeah, confirmed.
I saw a video this week on Twitter of a guy getting punched so hard his t-shirt changed color. Did anyone else see that?
Okay, elaborate, please.
I'll have to find it. Like,
anyway, I got away with it in the end. No, I not got away with it. I was innocent. They found me innocent in the end. But anyway, the point was,
well, he wasn't innocent. He just said that he was guilty. He just explained everything that he had done. You can't then say he's innocent after just saying exactly what he just did.
I'm of the opinion if you're in a
province,
if you're in a scrap, you're in a scrap. You don't whinge after the fact. It's like walk it off after the fact.
And they gave me 2 books, and I can't even remember one of them. And one of them was about. This is a challenge for the podcast. Can we give the podcast a challenge?
Sure.
Guys, in the comments, if you can find the name of this book, I would really, really happy. It was extremely disappointing. It was about a UN negotiator, a female who lived in New York City, who was a UN negotiator, who was fired from being a UN negotiator because she made a terrible mistake. And they talk about this terrible.
Anyone want to guess what terrible mistake a UN negotiator could make?
They lost the launch codes to the nuclear weapons.
That would be high stakes. Sure, let's find out if it's that.
Terrible mistake for the first 75% of the book, even though that the UN have now come back and need her back because she's the best negotiator, but she can't be officially on the books as a negotiator because of the terrible mistake. And she's like behind the scenes trying to negotiate. And it turns out the terrible mistake was she was negotiating peace between these 2 tribes in Africa and then slept with the tribal leader of one of the tribes. So I'm reading this book for like.
That is a mistake in a negotiation situation to sleep with one of the negotiators. Like, I think that Andrew Tate would agree with that, right? He'd be against women like using sex as a weapon in the workplace or something. That seems like seems
I found
against
it.
You found
the
it.
book, The Geneva Option by Adam Lieber.
All right, good work. Go and claim your prize.
I'm gonna drag Andrew Tate into a Pathfinder game. It's gonna be fantastic.
Perth Comics says she should sleep with both sides. That would be fairer. Like, that's certainly true.
Like 7 hours. I get to the end and I go, so you're a doctorate from New York UN negotiator who went to Africa to negotiate peace and ended up getting slammed by a warlord who doesn't even speak English? You're a hoe. You're just a hoe. Like, who would do that? Who would sleep with this warlord? He's killed millions. He's killed people. He's a war. He's not going to be charming.
Is it true? She has AIDS now, folks. She has AIDS.
I'd never sleep with a man that's killed millions. Never. She is a
Also,
hoe.
if this is the right one, I think there's also someone who was like a war criminal as well.
Yeah, I bet it was Coney. Remember Coney? Like, that's not too far away from this time. Yeah, so the point of this video was he doesn't read books. He's only read 2 books, and it's because he was in jail. Like, and what else are you going to do? And the other thing, he admitted to punching a woman, like, and being in jail for it. But also, you know, explained it away, like you would expect him to. That's exactly what you would do in it.
What was the other one?
I assume the
Which
Quran.
one?
She won. I'm sure.
What was the?
Oh, he didn't. He said he couldn't remember. He says he couldn't remember what it was. So it must have been really good.
I have to assume that he's at least read the Quran as well, or at least has been introduced to sections of it.
Well, you would think so, wouldn't you?
And if he was Orthodox, they'd require him to read massive tracts of the Orthodox versions of the Bible before they'd let him in.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, the Quran's so right. Like as a holy book, it's pretty on par, like what you'd expect.
With Old Testament standards, I'd say.
My favorite part is the part where it says that Allah laid the world out flat like a carpet and pinned down the corners with mountains. You know, like explaining how the earth's flat and that. You know, but every word of it's factually correct in the word of God. So here we go. Here's some more Andrew Tate.
Reading books is a very cheap way to, I guess, entertain. I wouldn't call it entertainment because my brain is far too advanced. I'm too smart to read. I'm not going to sit there and go, smart people read. No. I need action. I need constant chaos in my life to feel content. I need to be driving a supercar and fucking fighting, fucking a bunch of hoes and champagne and going crazy. I can't just sit there, oh, and the pirate on the boat. It's for people with slow brain.
So, Jan, do you consider yourself too smart to read? Or is that a stupid thing to say?
Well, I'm. I don't blow my own trumpet, but I'm a senior engineer, otherwise known as a precision test officer at a huge multinational company. But yes, McDonald's. I still but yes, I would still like to read, and I'd like to say I wonder if Einstein would go. You know, I don't read books. I just let her knock around, sleep with some hoes. You know,
Fast class champagne.
Yeah,
Stephen as well.
Hawkins. I know Stephen Hawkins used to love like getting in a ruck on a Saturday night.
Watching Stephen Hawking doing burnouts on a chav's neck with his wheelchair.
Yeah, he's always doing fucking donuts, and in the supermarket car park. Like,
I know why Andrew Tate hates the UK at the moment, anyway.
Why?
Because Rishi Sunak's just announced another hose pipe ban.
Oh,
goodness.
I'm just saying. Oh, that's funny.
Go back to sleep, Charlie. Rest that leg up.
I'm not too smart to read, but I prefer the ones with the pictures in them.
Oh yeah, Good segue.
Okay.
Let's get back to the comic book, innit? So we know that Andrew Tate hates reading, and he thinks Spider-Man is a dork or whatever. So I wanted to show you like some of these interior pages that I found. And who hasn't read a thing yet? Bill, you can read.
It's alleged.
Are you too smart to read, Bill?
You want to have a go on this?
Oh boy, I've really been given a fucking doozy, haven't I? Hang on, let me control.
It looks like South Park.
It does look. It honestly, it's starting to look like The Lightbringer by Linkara, and that's really a bad sign. Somewhere in New York City, pimping hoes. Is that like the name of the borough, or is that what he's doing? It really...
Yeah, it's next door to Hell's Kitchen, isn't it?
That's also good that they got his like coke sniffles into the panel in the section below.
It's next door to cherry trees in Judge Dredd.
Yeah,
So that was a really nerdy thing I just said there. I apologize.
It looks like he may or may not be crying in his supercar here. Like that's unclear. This registration on their supercar is a real one. Like I've seen that like in a video. They all start with Tate. Like
if that's the best paint job he could get for his Lambo, I'm very concerned. Block forest green. It looks. I'm reminded of the people in like EVE Online who buy forest camouflage for their space stations.
It's awful, isn't it?
It's.
I mean,
this is like legit. Like, okay, I know for a fact that background that is a like that stock imagery in the background there because I have wallpaper like that in my old house. So that's just like something he's pasted on. But that Lambo is the most grotesque shade of like Nurgle, like infection green. Yeah, that's what it looks like fucking MS Paint.
Yeah, it's like the Big Les Show meets South Park.
What the fuck? Literally, Spider-Man. No,
God.
little did I know I was preempting the story. Spider-Man, what the fuck?
This could not be real.
I came home and
as
saw
real
a
as
fancy
it's
sports
real.
car in front of my house. Then I went inside and some asshole named Tristan was banging my bitch.
Fuck off.
You're a punk ass bitch. Like this legit.
What has it got?
I'm telling you, this is some form of rare space ski.
Something in it.
This is like an Ace Vein video. Jesus Christ.
What the?
Look, what is this? What is this pose?
This
is
upsetting.
You gave me shit earlier for me saying this was look like gay porn, but it fucking does.
It does now. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Why does he look? What is this proportion? He looks like
So
Mini
he's trying
Drake.
to scare. He's trying to scare a guy that can do like a backflip, tuck and roll off of a skyscraper by holding him over the side of a building.
Why are they bleeding out the
trying
front?
to scare a guy who has ropes in his hand. Like
yeah, he can literally
I'm gonna
skeet
throw
webbing
you
out of
off.
his goddamn arms.
So yeah,
get the fuck out of here! And he plummets like 14 stories onto a goddamn car.
a car that looks kind of like a dinosaur skull.
Just a little bit. Tristan, I owe you a car.
Yeah,
this seems like if you told me this was a parody comic, I would say it was genius. This legit looks like Linkara's comic bringer.
That's not the real interiors. Like that's from an internet comic called Andrew Tate versus Spider-Man. That I assume someone made after that clip what we just watched where he ripped into Spider-Man.
God bless.
So some real interiors that I've managed to collect. I've got one like little scene here that I want to show you.
Mm-hmm.
So here is Andrew Tate playing chess with some chess master.
Looks like the Chad meme. He's playing chess with the Chad meme.
Oh yeah, the guy on this side. So Andrew Tate looks really Somalian in this picture, don't he? Like
he looks like a One Piece character. It's fucked up.
It looks like a racial caricature to me. Like
it looks like something you'd see like the 1940s coming out of like Austria.
It says it's with Karl Marx. Oh, and she fell for the little trick. KSS says the multimillionaire paid his eyes too much. Yeah, so he's playing chess with Karl Marx or whatever. And then he says check and like blasts the dude into
That's
a
not how you
wall.
play chess.
That's not the right word.
Surely the guy would have a chance to get out of check.
Well, no, because hang on a moment, it's checkmate. And he snaps his fingers. Now, I just want to go back for a moment to this panel. A little thing that I noticed. So everyone, I assume, is at least loosely familiar with what we're going to talk about in a moment. That Andrew Tate's father is like a chess grandmaster of the world, or
regular master. He never made it to grand.
According to Wikipedia.
And Andrew Tate boasts about his own ability in chess. I watched him beat Piers Morgan in a chess game in under 5 minutes the other day, which, you know, is pretty good at chess. If your dad's good at chess and you learn to play, whatever. The point that I want to get to is this chessboard is a 7x12, which is definitely wrong, isn't it? Like, chessboards are 8x8, like all of them. That's a thing. It's a simple mistake, like that, you know, a chess champion should notice. I also have a suspicion that if this is a bishop, like that's an impossible position for it to be in. You know, in fact, they're all in impossible positions because this is a 7x12. Impossible. And then this fight scene, this is where you're supposed to say mate, like you know, you're supposed to say check in this panel,
yeah,
and then mate when you smash him through the wall. Also, plaff, not a good wall smashing sound effect in it, like
go for crunch or crash.
That plaff is the gas being released from that old man.
No, plaff is the sound of you dropping your testicles on someone. Like
it's for the victory lap. It's for the victory lap afterwards.
It's like a queef sound.
Very, very Mark. We have a special guest.
I think queef is onomatopoeic.
Hey, Charlie, why aren't you in bed?
Hello.
Got my crutches, look.
Oh.
These are two crutches that Andrew Tate will never get his hands on.
Oh.
Hello. You're right.
Hello.
I've just got something to add about this chess thing that I think is quite important. So we had an assembly. Well, we had a parent and teacher meeting about 2 months ago about Andrew Tate, weirdly enough. Because it would come to a lot of people's attentions that a lot of the kids were watching his stuff, and there was a lot of, should we say, quite misogynistic things being said in classes. And one of the teachers I get on really well with, he runs a chess club, and every week in the chess club, maybe about 2 or 3 students were turning up. All of a sudden, the chess club was so busy, it was running in 3 classrooms along the corridor, because all these boys had been watching Andrew Tate, and Andrew Tate says about how basically life is like chess, and you can play chess, and how you play chess is how you would succeed at life. So now the person I work with has now got a bit of a quandary, because he doesn't know whether to stop the chess club because he's worried that he's encouraging Andrew Tate, but he's actually got no proof that these kids are actually even interested in chess because of him. So he's like, what do I do? Do I stop the chess club and then these kids are not fostering a love of something that's actually quite a good game? Or do I carry on playing it with a worry that I'm fueling exactly what he's saying to kids? So I told him,
fuel the fire.
Yeah, I told him to carry on, because actually the more they play chess, the more they realise what he's talking about is utter shit.
It's important to foster the love of the game in excess of their love of the man who got them to do it. And it takes power away from him if they've got that interest.
There's a great quote that I learned this week, which is that the ability to play chess is the sign of a gentleman, but the ability to play chess well is the sign of a life wasted. Like,
wow,
which is pretty
At
cool.
Alex is saying in the chat, and that was my point, exactly what I said when he said, does it matter why they got interested in chess? That was my point, because I think that's 100% true, because the ones that really love it are going to stay, and the ones that are there just because he's I also thought this was a good one. The ones that are just doing it because of him, they're going to disappear. But I just think it's lovely to see these kids indoors playing an old game, something that's very traditional, something that's very hard, and putting their phones down at lunchtime and actually just sitting there. And I can't stand Andrew Tate, but I think if he's actually inspired this in kids, then fair play, to be honest. Anyway, now I'm going to leave you boys alone because Jabba's told me to tell everyone to get the woman off the stream. And the problem is, Jabba, if Jan actually kicks me, I will fall over and it will hurt. So I'm going to just hobble back here. Have a good one, boys. I'll see you later.
Yes,
wait until those kids discover Dr. Jordan Peterson. They'll be the ones leading the lessons.
Well,
actually, you want to hear something funny about that quickly?
Oh,
so
go on.
we played a soundbite of his in an assembly, and actually it was a teacher that is not very clued up with the internet, shall we say. And there was a couple of sixth formers at the back who were wearing their they them badges and doing all of that stuff, and they were literally frothing at the mouth. And I'm sitting there laughing because I know this teacher has no clue who this person is. And they just really liked the quote. It was something about it was an inspirational quote. He's obviously gone onto YouTube, inspirational quote. This is the first thing that's come up. He's decided to use it. But these kids were frothing at the mouth. I just thought it was hilarious. But that's just me. Bye.
Twats. So I just wanted to go back to this comment from Perth Comics because it reminded me of a thing. One of the wage slavery jobs that I've held over my long lifetime was in this warehouse or whatever. And for my own amusement, I started running like a betting syndicate on who would be the next person to be fired. Like, because that's when you work somewhere that has 150 plus staff, people get fired every week or something, and it just the sheer churn of employees. So I was running that thing, but after about 2 weeks I had to stop doing it, not because I was scared of getting caught or anything, but because every person who I listed as the favorite to be fired got fired within 2 or 3 days, and it of me putting out the new odds stop doing it because of magical thinking. I thought, my list is getting people fired or whatever. Dumb. That's all right.
Unemployment death note.
Yeah, exactly. Unemployment death note. That was it. So here's talking about chess to Andrew Tate's father, and let's hear from Andrew Tate himself, this story about his dad.
My father was a chess grandmaster. I was on track to become a chess grandmaster. So
he was a legitimate chess grandmaster.
My father was the highest rated black chess player in history.
Really?
Yeah. So my father was a big G in chess.
Yeah.
So I kind of grew up around all these chess geniuses, which is a really unusual way to grow up because you have ex-KGB guys, you have complete autists. Everyone's a weirdo, right? You're not that good at chess to be normal. Even my
I think that's fair to say. If you're good at chess, you're probably a weirdo.
I will say that from what I have been told, Emery Tate, his father, never made it to Grandmaster. He made it to Master grade, and didn't get past it. He was legitimately the chess champion of the armed forces. He was in the Air Force.
In the Air Force, yeah.
And
I did
he got
notice
discharged before he could get very much higher because he was too mentally unstable.
Yeah, it was properly mental. So I did notice that Andrew Tate, when he was asked directly the question, a legitimate grandmaster, he said he was the highest ranked black player ever or whatever, which is a brag, but it's also a slight diversion.
My father, a lot of people say, I know this guy, he's really smart, or I know this guy has a photographic memory. No, and I'm not just saying this because he's my dad. When you've met true supreme intelligence, I've never met anybody else in the world who had the level of intelligence he had. The ability to supremely recall information. When I was with my father, if he needed your phone number, he'd ask, what's your phone number? And you'd say it once, and that was it for the rest of his life. He didn't have to write it down. You tell him an address, that was it for the rest of his life. He never wrote anything down. You never had to repeat anything to him. My father, when he died, someone messaged me who was...
having a good memory isn't intelligence, and it like that's just ability to recall information.
Interestingly, seems to be a very strong eidetic style memory is a trick very heavily held by Australian Aboriginal tribes. Very, very strong. Like they poll quite low overall, like as a demographic group in terms of IQ, but their memory is almost completely flawless.
It's all of their myths and everything's all spoken word. They didn't write anything down, did they?
Precisely.
Oh, I'm fucking on mute. No, I forgot what I was going to say. Great. Oh, I was going to say about how some tribes, I think Aborigines, but I'm not convinced, they don't have left and right, and they refer to their directional space in northeast, south, and west, and they know that, whatever direction they're facing, they can just say, no, give me your north hand, or whatever. That's pretty weird.
Weird to have tank controls in real life.
Yeah, just like that. Richie Dupe says chess grandmasters are not poor people. He's full of shit. Yeah, so it seems like his dad seems risky, and the kind of guy to blow any money they did have. But we'll look at that.
Because my father was in the CIA. He held the CIA record for the fastest assimilation of a foreign language. My father learned Russian within 2.5 weeks from zero. Well, you just read the dictionary. To these people, it's just just read it. When my dad died, James Altucher, do you know who he is? James Altucher, you can ask him about my dad. Him and James played a game, and it was a draw in the end. And James did a tribute to my father, saying that he was just a scary dude. He was just supremely smart. So yeah, he was a linguist. He knew 4 languages, and he was a professional chess player. And I grew up around this absolute supreme intelligence. And I always knew, even when I was a child, that I was smart, but I wasn't that smart. My beautiful mother watered me down.
It's a bit harsh thing to say, isn't it? My mother watered me down.
Tate has a notoriously bad relationship with his mother because his mother took him across to England, and he only saw his dad once a year.
Yeah, well, the choice between living with the highest ranked black chess player in the world or living with a dinner lady in Luton, it's not really a fair comparison.
I didn't have what he had. He was complete. He remembered every chess game he'd ever played. So you could be sitting there and he'd say, I played him in 1982, and he'll just go through the whole game. Or he could beat you at chess without looking at the board. So you'd have a board in front of you and say E4. He'd be in another room, C5, knight F3, knight C6, and he'd be cooking dinner and he'd smoke you.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. He'd play simultaneouses where he played 100 people in a row. So they'd sit there and they'd think, and he'd just go board to board, just make quick moves. He played a blind simultaneous. You have a board and he has nothing. He played 3 people at once blind, beat them all. That's how good grandmasters are. This is what people don't understand about chess. Chess, I'm a kickboxing world champion, and I'm telling you, forget the UFC, forget kickboxing. The hardest sport in the world is world level chess. These guys are wired different. You can't learn it. You either have it or you don't. They called him ET, as in the alien. Because my dad was one of the only players who...
ET in the top G.
It sounds like a children's book.
DG. This guy knows how to talk.
Oh, he's incredibly charismatic, and entertaining. He's one of those people who, when he's talking, I can't take my eyes off of him. He holds my attention.
Do we have a picture of Andrew Tate's father?
This is him on the screen right now, playing chess with a white light. No, he died playing chess. He had a heart attack at the chess table. I think he was whacked by the CIA, but I can't confirm it.
Well, that's sad.
His mother's still alive?
Well, I'm wondering if Andrew just blasted him through the wall.
His mum's still alive.
His mother's still alive.
Yeah, she still lives in Luton.
I've seen a picture of her house, but I'm not going to dox her, obviously. So Andrew Tate's dad, according to Andrew Tate, is CIA. I looked into it a little bit, and it was hard to find any corroborating evidence of that. You can see it was in the Air Force, but then I did find some anecdotes from other like CIA people talking about like their interactions with him and how he was fucking mental, like in the head, like that he had like delusions, and he was supposed to be deciphering foreign languages and then passing on reports of what they said, and would inject his own thoughts into it, and he'd say things like, oh no, that's a pencil, that's a code word for nuclear bombs, in a similar vein to how in like the Pizzagate thing, they would say hot dogs, that means little boys or whatever, like it takes a certain degree of mental problems to do that, this kind of thing. So what's next? Oh yeah, does Andrew Tate work for the CIA? That's the question. Like, is he some kind of agent provocateur? There is on the internet this whole conspiracy that he's running like a right-wing Jeffrey Epstein operation. Like, he's luring all of these big right-wing names to his Romanian compound to record compromising material of them doing rude things. That's an option. I haven't seen.
Surely that would be CIG, not CIA.
Yeah, the Central Intelligence Gs.
Yeah. Well,
I've kind of seen an equal measure of evidence between him being CIA or being FSB. Like, there's a lot of evidence for him being CIA, and he claims his father was such, and the CIA is notoriously nepotistic and would just hire the children going forward because it's easier to keep the clearance that way. But equally, he's got really deep ties to the Romanian state and Bratva, and he is operating in that neck of the woods. And Mossad and such from there on.
Yeah, so I have seen stuff. Well, he was just saying earlier about how when he was a child, they'd have all these ex-KGB guys in his house. And I'm sure that the KGB is just like the CIA, and you never leave the company. You're always KGB in it. After his father was dismissed from the Air Force or whatever, he's still traveling to East Germany, to the Soviet Union and stuff, to play chess with, people with Russian names.
Well, that was actually a big theater for the Cold War, was the chess grandmasters got so big, and why when you got to AIs like Deep Blue who are caning like grandmasters simultaneously, why it was such a big deal. So suddenly this entire field of international flexing went away.
It was used in a similar way to the Olympics, and this is a way for our country to show that we're intellectually dominant in the example of chess, or physically dominant in the Olympics, or whatever. What's this? I want to show you this little clip about, is he CIA?
I didn't want to destroy you. You should have kept me as controlled opposition. I would have been on your side. I would have corrected my message. I would have done whatever you needed me to do to allow me to exist on your platform so you could satisfy whatever shareholders you have down in Cutland. But you started a fight with the most formidable man on the planet. And I will crack the Matrix. I will destroy tech monopolies. That's who I am. It's too fucking late. You're fucked with the wrong guy.
Very humble. Very humble.
Fuck, let's mobilize, bitches.
No, that's exactly how I feel. After watching that, let's fucking do it. I often catch myself in moments like that, thinking, "Oh,
hold on,
shit."
I'm just gonna go listen to some Rage Against the Machine real quick.
I often catch myself in moments where I think, "Shit, I would have charged in on the front lines at that moment." This is incredibly gay what I'm about to say now. The musical Les Miserables?
Yep.
There's a line in one of the songs in that where The line is like, who will be brave and stand up and take a chance? The blood of the martyrs will water the meadows of France. Like, and every time that I hear that line, I'm like, yeah, let's fucking go. Like, let's fucking.
Those big galvanizing lines that really makes your blood boil.
Like, I'm not even French. Like, I don't want my blood in France, but I'm still like, yes, let's fucking do it. So is he CIA or not? So I gave away a little thing then. I was going to say, one of the theories that is funded by the CIA, one of the pieces of evidence that they offer up is his incredibly quick meteoric rise to like super fame or whatever. But the truth is that it hasn't been a meteoric rise. Like this right here is a clip from his earliest TV appearance, like on this Channel 4 show, Ultimate Traveler, which is, you know, kind of like a fucking coach trip or something. People know what that is.
Renamed from its original title of Giga Gypsy.
They go like backpacking around Indonesia, and it's a contest. Like, you know, whoever fucks over the most people, like, gets the biggest.
I remember that show. Yeah, that had like a bald guy that used to drive people around and just.
Yeah, that's Coach Trip. Yeah, like,
yeah, similar to that, right?
It's a show like that. Yeah. So yeah, that show is the origin of this meme, and it. So I want to show you. He's 21 in this. Here he is.
Shit,
look at him. He does look like the bloke from The In-Betweeners. My joke has come full circle.
He's a dweeb.
Well, wait, listen to this. No sound. Let's try that again.
Looper.
He's better and not skinny as fuck and actually has something going for him.
And I think that flipped this switch in me where I was like, okay, fuck you, watch this.
I don't care about that part, like where he gets cool or whatever. But that's funny, isn't it? Like,
that's the shortest red carpet I've ever seen. That's a red rug. That's red mat.
Oh yeah.
I've legit seen larger bath mats than that.
that's the rug. It says welcome. Welcome. Like you don't have to be crazy to be here, but it helps.
Just you can say welcome. It just says welk.
Welk.
Well, yeah. So here he is on that show, in it with some other dude. The first time that he made like headlines here, though, in the UK, was when he was featured on the Channel 5 version of Big Brother. Like, see, here he is. Not celebrity Big Brother, just regular Big Brother for the plebs. And he got into all kinds of trouble while he was there. For one example, among many things, is this tweet came out of him calling Cheryl Cole a massive socket. The word in here is like a really tame and weak racial slur in it, but you know, we're streaming on Twitch as well, so I'm not going to say it. But you know, for a clue, you know, Cheryl Cole's a wag in it, like you know, a white
rhymes with frog.
You got it. So, you know, apparently he got kicked out for that. Because Big Brother here in the UK has like a real history with racial controversy. Like, you remember the whole Jade Goody, Shilpa Shetty dramas? Like, there was more after that. Like, there's a theory that that's the reason they ended up binning it on Channel 4, like, because of the constant like problems they're getting from advertisers and shit. So that's dumb, innit? But the idea that a mixed race man was kicked out for a racial slur is poppycock. Like Channel 5 confirmed like that they removed him after a disturbing video showing him beating a woman was unearthed.
Wow.
And here is a clip from the video, like that is on YouTube. You can go and watch it. Like it's pretty like distasteful. And look at that, the sun watermark. That'll be copyright struck to fuck.
Really a watermark at that point. It's more like a fucking tide line.
Yeah, and it's hard to even tell that's a woman. It looks like he might be beating a turkey, like it's Christmas time or whatever. And of course, we don't know whether this is consensual or not. Like he claims it is, and then he also tweeted this picture, like saying they edited a video of me to make me look bad when I'm not. They're afraid of my master plan. It says here, I love it when Andrew spanks me, and some hashtags. And then notice like the tattoo branding thing here, like so in trying to convince us of one thing, he's accidentally like proved another thing. So Tate claims that he was playing a comedic character in his content. I'm just joking. This is what I called the Alex Jones defense. But when they inevitably get me, that's what I'm going to say as well. I was joking when I called for all those people to be guillotined.
Yeah, I was just joking when I made AIDS jokes during AIDS Awareness Month.
Don't worry. I have a bunch of really spurious religious qualifications, so when the time comes, I'll convert all of us to whatever religion du jour has like special like faculties at the time.
Yeah, whatever's necessary. Oh, Jabba says "Sure, Papadom." That was it, and that was the big controversial line. That
I wasn't sure if we were allowed to say it.
Yeah, that was the line that somebody else said, not anybody on this panel.
It is remarkable the amount of milk toast bullshit that will get you in hot water those days and these. Like a grief.
The only, if I may say, when people go, "Oh yeah, it was only a joke," and you're like, "Well, are you known as making some really dry-witted jokes?" No, you're deadly serious 100% of the time until this thing comes out. Then you go, "Well, it's all bands." It's like, you've never made a joke ever in your entire life apart from that one time.
I've made a point as we've been going through to point out occasions where I've said, "Oh, if he was on stage, that would be stand-up comedy. Like that's perfectly acceptable jokes." And it like he probably should have just done that instead. There is a quote that all of this reminded me of from Ricky Gervais. Like he was telling a story before about how someone asked him for advice on becoming famous, and he said, "Go out and kill a prostitute." Like if you want to be famous, if you want your name out there, that's a real shortcut to doing it. Like and I get that kind of a vibe from Andrew Tate. So there's one more short clip that I just want to show you, and then we'll wrap it up. Have a look at this one.
All about maximum risk. That's all he was about. Like my dad would go to the park, hustle money out of the people in the park, get enough to go to the tournament, win 10 G's in a chess tournament, the only money he had in the world, and walk straight into the casino.
With that money he won?
Yeah. And he's like, "Look, I want 50 grand or we're broke. If I need another $50 for food, we'll go back to the park." He was all or nothing. He was extremely, he adored the idea of being hard to kill. That was his thing to say. "I ain't gonna die. I'm hard to kill."
I'm hard to kill as well. Like haven't like every single day of my life, I've never died. Like all the evidence at the moment is pointing to that I might be immortal. Like
same here. They can't get rid of me. I'm like Thrush.
Or AIDS. Don't forget AIDS.
I think
I'm working up. I can't blame my own horn too hard.
Thrush, sounds nicer than it is. Like thrush is the name of a bird. It sounds like a little bird comes out of your vagina and like there's a little song and stuff. Like
a little bird does come out of your vagina, Kami Mark.
I don't have a vagina.
That's exactly what someone without a vagina would say.
Yes.
Brush is a nickname we use for people at work we don't like because obviously we can make the context for that.
I learned his mindset, and his mindset was, you know, you
Got a
gotta take
yeast
the risk,
infection
don't be
because
that
I'm always
guy,
getting
and
bread.
understand the failure really, in many cases, isn't going to kill you. There's certain scenarios where it will, but in the scenarios where it won't, you need to have more bravery. A lot of people out here are talking about, oh, you know, I'm worried if I move to. What the worst happens if you move somewhere? You move home. Like, what's the problem? My dad was all.
Okay, so I want to show you this clip because it reminds me of one of the lessons that I'm trying to teach my child. That, you know, it's okay to be scared because you can't be brave if you don't feel scared any. Like, you know the phrase, oh, you're either brave or you're stupid. If you're not scared, you're not brave, therefore you are stupid. Like, so there's nothing wrong with being scared. Bravery is the ability to do a thing despite being scared. Okay, so any final thoughts on Andrew Tate? What do you all think after seeing that? Are you going to buy his comic book? I guess should be the first question.
No.
Not this one. I might get the other one that's more Wu-Tang inspired, but
I like the MS Paint one comes out.
If that one gets like a trade paper hardback, I'll get that.
I enjoyed
light
the Spider-Man one way more than this one looks like it's going to be. Good.
I wish I could say it's the only time I've nearly seen Spider-Man get bummed, but then again, there is that one era where like Otto Octavius is inhabiting his body, so that technically counts.
Well, I'm hoping there's some kind of Mandela effect and that becomes canon in Marvel.
You almost killed me, bro.
I mean, Tom Holland would be the perfect character for a gay, you know, transgender Spider-Man, and then it turns into, you know, Elliot Page, that sort of thing. TDS, Tranny Demon Spider-Man.
Yeah, no one's
Well,
selected.
There was actually, back in the day, there was actually a clone of Spider-Man who was a woman, but it still had Peter Parker's brain, so it was a man's brain in a woman's body. But I'm going completely off on a massive comics rant here, but that's not what we're talking about. We'll come back to that on another day. But
okay,
that kind of thing that thing has actually happened back, I believe it was 96, 97. I'd have to double check with
before I was born. So
yeah, my Spider-Man guy.
The Clone Saga.
Yeah, the Clone Saga. But these
Spider Trans.
When they talk about all this stuff, it's all been done before. I maybe I'll see if I can find. Anyway, I'm going completely off topic, but yeah.
In conclusion, I would like to sum this all up with I can't confirm that Andrew Tate is on the payroll of the CIA yet. Maybe in the future we'll be able to do that, like we can with the Dalai Lama. So we don't know if he's CIA. What we do know is that he thinks that he's fucking Morpheus or something, when the reality is that he's actually Cypher. He's the one who's dialed back into the Matrix to take advantage of the opulent consumerism available. Andrew Tate is no revolutionary leader. He's a uber consumer, and that's the reason why ultimately I put him in the gulag. Not because of his alleged misogyny, but because he's a champion of capitalism. That's the end. Go and subscribe to all of these people in the chat. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you in the chat for watching.
Mark, what's the have you? I did write a poem to make up for the absence of our usual poem guy.
Oh, fucking hell.
My microphone is detachable, by the way.
Mine's not even plugged in.
Mine's on an arm that makes a hell of a lot of noise.
Bill, we usually give the poem the full screen. It's the last part of the show, so Go ahead, and then we'll end it like when you're finished.
They're always delayed. Talking about the top G. Why don't you have a machete? I have 3. Help him? No, I ain't gay. They're calling it Pizza Tate. How Bristolian of him. I'd put my money on Harvey. Smart to read. He remembered every chess game he ever played. You're always KGB. If you were on stage, it'd be stand-up comedy. Mic drop.
Oh, and just time to squeeze in quickly. This next VRB says like I pasted some things together. That's great. What's hilarious is this skin tone on the original art appears closer to mine in this photo than it actually does to Andrew Tate himself. Like, have another look at the thumbnail for this video, and you'll see that this darkness is.
And I'm the bad guy.
So great poem, Bill. Really well done. Thank you, everyone. See you next time. See you next.